please silence your cell phone or place it in vibrate mode. My next job is to introduce first-time guests, and Bill Singer has brought his son Aaron, and if Aaron could tell us a couple of things about you. What brings you here? Are you interested in joining us or just visiting? And well, anything else you want to say?
Sure.
Just a minute. If you want to stand up and please
Sure, yeah.
and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Singer. I'm his son, and I guess I'm here to check it out. I like public speaking and that kind of stuff, speech writing, and that's basically what I'm here to do.
Thank you, Eric. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed Toastmaster, Dinesh.
Thank you, Arthur. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome to the meeting again. I guess this is all the people we have for today. The world has become a very small place these days with connectivity at many different levels. We go to places, meet people from different cultures. People come here and we meet them. US is one place where we can meet people from many different cultures. Personally, I believe that you can live anywhere in the world as long as things are peaceful. You can live in any culture, any place. Okay. Sometimes when you meet people from different cultures for the first time, things can get a little bit funny. I was in Barcelona, Spain, 2 months back for a conference. The conference ended on Friday forenoon. I took the rest of the day and the next day to go around and see the city. I was all by myself, so I took all my important things in a backpack, then went to those touristic hotspots. When people looked at me, they could clearly make out I'm all by myself with a backpack, looking into my phone, where to go, and looking around as if I'm lost. Therefore, for every 10 minutes, a couple would approach me and ask me if I can get some pictures for them. They would hand over their iPhone, whatever. Can you get some pictures? Okay, no problem, right? The first couple, I think it was in one of those popular roads, got some pictures, gave the device back, told them that, take a look. If the pictures are not okay, I will get you more pictures. They took the device back, they looked at the picture, and the man goes, "Mwah." Okay, I was not expecting that, but okay, thank you. And the second couple, 10 minutes later, did the same thing. I got some pictures, told them I was being nice, right? Take a look. If the pictures are not okay, I'll get you more pictures. I look at the picture, and the man goes, I see some sort of trend here, okay. The third couple just said, thank you. The fourth couple, I still remember it was on the bridge which didn't have much railings. You know, if you slip, you fall into water. They gave their iPad, that big ugly device. They asked me to take pictures. I took the picture. And then, mine, I was saying, man, if you are doing that, please don't do it, okay? I didn't tell that, but then they look at the picture and the man goes, "Mwah," like this. Felt very weird. I guess, what was I thinking in my mind? Why did I tell this? Take a look. If it's not okay, why am I saying this? Perhaps my brain was not working from all the conference material stuffed in it. So from then onwards, I started avoiding all the couples. Sure, I look like a thief trying to avoid the eye contact, but I didn't want kiss from all those men, On the contrary, if the women were doing that, I would sit there all day long, take the pictures for free. But that didn't happen. That's a very weird experience. I thought that perhaps they were trying to convey something. I have misunderstood something else. I know that most of the Italians say that, okay, when it's very tasty, they do this. So I felt the whole experience a little bit weird. So that's what I want to talk about. Let's move on with our meeting. Let's see what Bill Singer has to say in terms of the culture shock. He did send me some quotes. He says, growing up in New York, I was used to people's tell it like it is, speak your mind attitude. When you get angry, you hear about it, and probably right away. But when he moved to New England, the culture shock, he had a culture shock because people are much more reserved, he says. One day, when I was here, I realized that my friend was angry because he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. Please welcome Mr. Singer.
Today's word of the day is quotidian. Hopefully you can read my handwriting.
I left out
You looked
D.
up something there.
Oh, yes, I did. Thank you.
Right.
I guess that means my handwriting is legible since it was clear that I left something out. Quotidian has Latin origins, and it means something that occurs every day. It's an adjective, and an example of using it in a sentence would be: people in New England suspend their quotidian activities when they have to clear snow and clean up the ice dams in their houses.
Thank you, Bill. The next role is Thought or Joke by Brandon. On the theme, Brandon says that culture shock describes being an American tourist in some European countries. I found you have to be patient and listen and keep your eyes open to be polite and feel welcome. Please welcome Brandon.
So, my response to this topic is, it's a very interesting topic. I don't know if you mean a culture shock by actually moving somewhere and living somewhere for a long period of time, or even being a tourist, how much you can really take in a short period of time when you're a tourist. But being that as it is, I have my old travel book from when I was in high school. This is 20 years old, by the way, and it has. Let's see, I don't know if I can read. Yeah, see, it says Saturday, February 18th, 1995. So that was 20 years ago. I thought I'd refer to some places that I visited. The two major places I have in this notebook are visiting England, London, and areas in England. And then I made another trip later on to Prague and parts of Eastern Europe. So starting with London and England, the one thing is it's very nice, comforting to know that they always speak the same language when you get off the plane. I actually was I felt very at home there as far as I always had the perspective that, you know, actors and people in entertainment, they go back and forth. Like some people actually own houses in England, and they go back and forth, and they manage to live their lives in both countries. And I always thought that was an example of something where it's comfortable. You can do things the way you expect to. There were shopping malls in the suburbs. They have different kinds of cars. I did see the Ford symbol on the back of a car, but the car was not none of anyone I've seen here. So I was comforted. I saw the Ford symbol. Oh, good, it was something American. and then there were things that make you feel comfortable. Like, can I really conduct my things like practicing your religion? I didn't know for sure how many Catholic churches there were in England. I thought it was Church of England country, where he overthrew the Pope and we have a new church. But there's definitely a substantial number of Catholic churches as well as Protestant churches. And if you want to practice whatever denomination you want to, you're welcome to. moving on to an example of Prague, where I did find one note that I made that refers to something. This was 1995 in Prague. Was about with only a few years after they became separated from the communist government. And I said, changes from socialist buildings to free and commercialized areas. So that was an example where I wonder how much government has influence over a culture. I think when it's so many, like since the early 1900s to the to the 1990 or so, that's a long time. I think that can have an influence on your culture. I mean, we have a capitalist government which allows freedom of expression in this country, and I think what I learned in 1995 is how much happier places in Eastern Europe were after they resembled something of the society that we live in today. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you, Brandon. Our first speech will be by Rich, and this evaluator was supposed to be Galina, but Peter has taken her role. Peter, before Rich comes over here, would you please talk about his objectives, his speech objectives?
Okay. The objectives for speech number 2, organize your speech.